Welcome to Mini Days and my Easter DIY egg tree. Now this is just basically a branch that I found outside and I've just put it together on my display and decorated it with eggs. So I'll show you how I've done it. First of all, I just cut down a smaller piece of branch and then I found a tall glass jar. This is just a spaghetti jar, and I filled it up with rocks and moss. I just left the lid on and I just pushed it to the back. Then I pushed bits of moss and twigs and stuff in the top just to hide the top of the jar, just so it looked a little bit less like a jar. And then I placed it on my display and I've just adjusted the twigs to make sure it's the right shape. Now for the eggs, now I've just basically used the really cheap plastic eggs that you can get anywhere. These are the ones that you can open up and put things in. These were just the right size, I thought, for my project. So basically what I've done was just make sure they close properly, and then I used a skewer, which is just so handy because there's always holes in these, but push it in properly because that's going to be like your handle, if you like, so you can paint it. And then you just twirl it around in your hand as you're painting so you don't miss any bits. And now I've just used not emulsion, I've just used satin wood paint here because it was thicker than emulsion. I still like to give it 3 coats to get rid of the colour completely. Now it was a little tiny bit shiny, so I had this stone touch spray in the cupboard, so I give it a quick spray of this and it's given it a nice bit texture and made it a little bit more matte. So I'm really happy with that. Now with my scrap kind of collection that I seem to have, I just got some bits of lace. This particular lace, I think I bought this on a roll, and I just basically glued a piece around and used my hot glue gun, which is essential, and just trimmed it off after patting it dry. I mean, it literally dries as quick as you can see on this video, as I'm sure you'll be aware if you've used a glue gun before. So next I thought I would go with a little bit Hessian just to make this like have a little bit more contrast and not just be really, you know, too wishy-washy. So I just cut a strip off this roll of Hessian that I already had. It's a little bit tricky gluing the Hessian, but you just need to make sure you don't touch the glue because it'll come through the material, especially Hessian. So like I say, I just used these skewers that I'd used to paint the egg with, and then you can just press it down and then you don't get any glue on yourself, although the stick does stick sometimes. Stick does stick? That's right, isn't it? And then just trim off the bits. Don't worry if these are not perfect because it's fun, it's DIY, it's unique to you. Just, you know, I don't measure anything, as I'm sure you'll be aware. Now this cushion cover here was the result of why I had so many scraps. So I made that on obviously a previous project, and that's where this piece of material came from, which was just like a piece of frayed cotton, because I'd done like a kind of big tassel on my cushion that I'd made, and yeah, there was quite a few bits left over, so make use of those. There, that's my first design. Now for the tops, I'll just show you this one. Now I just put a dot of glue on the top of the egg, so nothing technical here, and then hold a piece of twine or string or whatever you want to hang with over the top, carefully to have a little button on or something. I felt like I needed something there just to kind of pretty it up a bit, and that's the first egg done. Now for my second one, I've cut a little bit Hessian a little bit wider, and I've just cut some braid. I've got loads of this braid lying around when I used to do my upholstery, so I'm so glad I can kind of use these bits. And yeah, this project I think cost me literally 99p, and that was for a pack of eggs, of which I think I only used 8 or 9, so very good. Now just glue on your Hessian like you did before, and then I've just, like I say, put a piece of braid. Now you don't have to go out and buy bits of braid, you could use anything that you've got literally lying around the house. Just, you know, try and keep the tones kind of similar if you like, you know. I mean, you could have it more colourful, but as I'm getting older, I just feel like the colourful side of us is slowly dwindling away. Anyway, it still looks good when it's finished. I suppose it's a bit more of a grown-up DIY Easter egg tree, this one. Now, for my third egg, I've just found this. It's like a kind of like a ribbon on a roll, but Hessian, like with finished edges. So this wasn't a bit rough. I just, again, had this lying around. Sorry for sniffing. It's just cold in here. I haven't got cold. And then I've just wrapped it around the opposite way, just so it has a slightly different look. Now, I didn't like this seam where the egg obviously opens. You can't really get rid of that with a paint. So then I thought I'd wrap a bit round. Oh, and it looks like a cross. So yes, this is my favourite one. So just glue a bit going round. And then that is my third design. Now it looks like, it looks like a cross obviously, but it also looked like it was maybe had something missing. So I found these little very thin metal, now these are from the works. I'll put a link down below to where in fact I probably could tell you where I got everything from over the years. So I just glued one of these kind of metal, it's like a little fancy frame onto the front, and then it felt like it was something missing in the middle of it, so I dug out my gold stickers. Now you could use a gold pen, or you could cut something out of gold paper, you know, you don't have to go and buy these things. And then I just found this fancy E sticker and just pushed it on, E for Easter. Just thought that was the best letter to put on. Yay! Now for my tree, basically it's more difficult to slide them along the branches, so because I've just glued on the piece of string, I can just literally tie them on where I want them, and then you can just adjust it so they're all facing the way you want them to face. So I just went ahead and tied all, I think 8 eggs I put on this tree. Yep. And I'm really happy with that. So that is my 99p DIY Easter tree display, which I love. I love Easter. Please subscribe, check out my other videos. Thank you so much for watching this DIY.